How do you manage your life when you have both ADHD and OCD? Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Michael and I was diagnosed with ADHD in adulthood. If you are new to my channel, then please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and comment on this video saying that you subscribed, and I will reply to your comment within 72 hours. Growing up, I exhibited many symptoms of both ADHD and OCD. However, my ADHD symptoms appeared prior to my OCD symptoms. Starting around age 5, my mind would either wander or go blank while I was doing anything that required a good amount of concentration, such as brushing my teeth or doing my schoolwork. Throughout elementary school, I frequently had trouble paying attention in class and focusing on schoolwork and homework. Several times in grade 3, a teacher told me to step outside the classroom for a timeout because I was not paying attention during the lesson. One time in grade 5, a teacher asked me to step outside the classroom for a timeout because I was just slouching back in my chair instead of doing the schoolwork that I was supposed to be doing. Also throughout elementary school, I had a habit of making careless mistakes in my homework and on tests. I believe grade 5 was also the time when my OCD symptoms either appeared or became noticeable. Early in my grade 5 year, I would arrange my books on my desk so that the edges of my books were aligned perfectly with the edges of my desk. One time I neglected my schoolwork and instead I tidied up the inside of my desk. Also, toward the end of my grade 5 year, I began constantly checking my deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards to make sure that all my cards were in the exact same order each time, and to make sure that I had not lost any cards. I did lose Yu-Gi-Oh cards back in grade 3. Fast forward to high school. To the best of my memory, the first time I had OCD symptoms in relation to my schoolwork and homework was in grade 9. Prior to seeing my mark on the first unit test in grade 9 math, I believe that I had gotten a mark in at least the mid-80s. However, my mark on that test ended up being 73%. The reason being that I had made a lot of careless mistakes, which I had already been doing throughout elementary school. After getting that 73%, I started to do several things. The first thing I did was that on tests and assignments, I started checking my work 3 to 5 times on average. The second thing I did was that when I studied for tests that were not math, physics, or chemistry, I would read each sentence of my notes 3 to 5 times on average. The third thing I did was that when I printed and stapled my assignments, I checked on average 3 to 5 times to make sure that all the pages were there and in the right order. The fourth thing I did was that when I was uploading my assignments online, I checked on average 3 to 5 times to make sure that I had uploaded the correct documents to the correct folders. I kept doing all those things up until the end of my first semester of grade 11. Also, it is important to mention that throughout grades 9 and 10, and throughout my first semester of grade 11, I had a serious habit of procrastinating. I would say that in grade 9, grade 10, and my first semester of grade 11, my habit of procrastinating was 7.5 on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 being I never procrastinated at all, and 10 being I waited literally every time until the night before to even start studying for the test or to even start doing the assignment. In my second semester of grade 11, my OCD symptoms eased up, and I started checking my work or reading each sentence, etc. just 1 to 3 times before moving on to the next question, task, or sentence, etc. From my second semester of grade 11 all the way until the end of my first year of university, my OCD symptoms rarely reappear. And even when they did reappear, it happened for only 1 day at a time. However, that changed when something happened during the summer after my first year of university. To make a long story short, I was under a lot of stress that summer, thereby contributing to the reappearance of my full-blown OCD symptoms that same summer. I have been continually struggling with OCD ever since my symptoms reappeared. In early 2018, a psychiatrist formally diagnosed me with OCD. So how did I find the best way thus far to manage my comorbid ADHD and OCD? Well, I think that finding out I have ADHD was crucial to better managing my OCD symptoms. All the OCD symptoms that I have had throughout my life and that I have discussed in this video thus far seem to have appeared in the first place in response to my careless mistakes or in response to other unpleasant events, which in turn were caused by the random thoughts running through my head and caused by my inattention to details. As I mentioned in a previous video, I am currently on 30 milligrams of Vyvanse. That dose of that medication contributes to decreasing the loudness in my brain. That way I can pay enough attention to details and I can have good enough working memory so that I do not feel the need to check things over and over and over again because I fear having missed important details or because I fear having failed to remember things correctly. Of course, Vyvanse alone does not mitigate my ADHD and OCD symptoms. I still need to take 150 milligrams of sertraline, which is an SSRI. I still need to have a well-balanced diet. I still need to get enough physical exercise every day. And I still need to go to sleep and wake up around the same time every night and every morning, making sure to get enough sleep every night. In another video, I will discuss the changes I have made in my diet since receiving my ADHD diagnosis, and I will show you what I typically eat for breakfast, as my lunch is usually just dinner leftovers, and for dinner, I just eat whatever my parents cook. Now, as a rule of thumb, I simply check things 1 to 3 times to make sure I did not miss anything or make any careless mistakes. And that applies whether I am working, doing household chores, or doing anything else. Although the way I am currently managing my symptoms is the best way that I have found thus far, I might still find an even better way to manage my symptoms in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video and joining me in my journey to find the most effective way to manage my life with my neurodivergent brain. If you enjoyed this video, then please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below saying that you subscribed, and I will reply to your comment within 72 hours. I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Take care!